Okay, we first want to give you the methodology of our survey. This is a survey which has been done through telephonic interviews on the 9th and 10th. That's over the last 48 hours. Yashwant Deshmukh and his team at C Voter have done 2,500 interviews. That's the methodology that has been adopted to try and get you some kind of a sample of what could happen in Bihar. I also want to use this moment to introduce all our guests. My co-anchors on the show are Preeti Chaudhary, who has just interviewed Prashant Kishor. You can watch that on her podcast, Unpolitical.
Unpolitics.
Unpolitics. And also with us is Maria Shakil, Beti of Bihar, someone who's tracked Bihar for years and therefore has a ground view of what's happening. I'm also joined by another Beti of Bihar, Dr. Manisha Priyam, leading political analyst, joins me. She will tell us what she's seen on the ground. I'm also joined by Kanchana Yadav, spokesperson RJD, Rajiv Ranjan, spokesperson JDU, Guru Prakash Paswan is national spokesperson of the BJP, and Yashwant Deshmukh of C Voter, who will have all the explaining to do, especially if the results don't bear out on the 14th of November. Okay, I'm going to get cracking with our first big finding of our Battle for Bihar poll. The India Today poll done for India Today by C Voter. Here is the first big finding. Who is your preferred choice for Chief Minister? Who do you want as Mukhyamantri? Kaun banega Mukhyamantri, or the preferred choice? An interesting finding. 16% are saying Nitish Kumar, the incumbent, the 9-time Chief Minister. 36% are saying Tejashwi Yadav. So if this was a direct contest, you'd say advantage Tejashwi. But there are others too. Chirag Paswan at 9%. Samrat Chaudhary of the BJP, the Deputy Chief Minister, at 8%. But look at this. Prashant Kishor, as per this poll, is at 23%. So that is a very, very sizable number. But remember, these are telephonic interviews in a state with with an electorate of more than 7.4 crores. And of course, the fact that you're doing a poll, therefore, with a limited sample size. But either way, Prashant Kishor cannot be ruled out. Let me therefore take that straight to you, Yashwant Deshmukh. Is that the big finding when a direct question is posed? Tejashwi number 1, Prashant Kishor number 2, Nitish Kumar number 3. Though if I add up Nitish, Samrat Chaudhary and Chirag Paswan, then the picture changes. Your first take.
Absolutely, Rajdeep. And by the way, this question has been part of our daily tracker that we have been tracking for more than a year now. And slow and steady, we have witnessed the graph of Prashant Kishor's number and getting traction up and up and up. What I am not sure, as he is a new party, new entrant, how much of this traction he will be able to convert into votes and how much he will be able to convert into seats. That's up in the air. Nobody can make a guess because in the first past the post system, it's impossible for any pollster to gauge the vote share of a new entrant because there is no electoral history. Having said that, as you see the graph on the screen, Rajdeep, we've been tracking this number and you see the numbers going up in that way. One interesting point which you said that if it is a bipolar, then it will be advantage Tejashwi, which is not actually the case. If it is a bipolar, because we asked this question, and majority of the Prashant Kishor supporters are actually coming from the NDA background, NDA voting history. So if you ask this question as a bipolar, then Tejashwi Yadav's number actually go up by about 4%, around 40%. But rest of all actually gets culminated or actually get polarized for Nitish Kumar if you are given only two choice rather than asking this question verbatim and open-ended.
Okay, I'm going to go right round the table and get quick reactions for everyone to this first number that we've seen. First, starting with my co-anchors, Maria and Preeti. Maria, you first. What is your first big takeaway when you see these numbers? Are you surprised in any way?
Look, Tejashwi Yadav is popular, Rajdeep. I have interviewed him during his yatra. I traveled to Samastipur and was in that bus where he is traveling. So there is that enthusiasm or curiosity around him. But is Tejashwi Yadav being seen as the real challenger to Nitish Kumar the way he was in 2020 when there was a great degree of freshness in his entire campaign? Maybe not. And that is why I would say the announcement which has come yesterday of one job per household becomes important. But of course, it's a subject of discussion whether the arithmetic has been worked out or not.
Your first reactions, Preeti, to these numbers. You've interviewed Prashant Kishor.
You know, just look at the numbers, and Rajdeep, because Yashwant did touch on it earlier. Let's bring out the graph on how the graph of each of these political players has gone. Very interesting to note. Tejashwi usually has stuck. He began 6 months ago at a 40%, 40.6%. He's lost about 4.5%. That clearly has gone to Prashant Kishor. The person, at least in this graph, in terms of traction, one needs to watch out for and look at is a Prashant Kishor, where in February he started at a 14.9% in our tracker and has climbed all the way to 23.2%. But there's a caveat in all of this, because clearly something that Yashwant will also confirm, that Prashant Kishor might be tracking at this level, but is Jan Suraaj, his party, tracking at the same amount of consistency? Who he's taken from, Rajdeep? Nitish Kumar, Tejashwi. Samrat Chaudhary clearly has fallen by the wayside because he got a bump up in the middle in April, and from then on he's steadily fallen. All of this comes at the back of charges of corruption against Samrat Chaudhary. This also strangely comes at the back of the 1 crore households that have got the 10,000 rupees direct cash transfers. Have we seen a significant bump after that from August to October, where Nitish or maybe Samrat Chaudhary or Chirag Paswan's numbers are concerned? Because it's coming from the NDA camp, at least where the preferred choice of CM is concerned. Right. That is not quite translating. But Tejashwi's numbers have been fixed, Rajdeep.
Okay. This has been. But remember, those numbers also more or less parallel what the vote bank of the mahagathbandhan is.
MY vote bank.
First reactions, Amitabh Tiwari, since you do number crunching, are you surprised with the fact that Prashant Kishor scores on a direct open-ended question, who do you want as chief minister? Is he crystallizing all those who are frustrated with the duopoly of Bihar politics?
You can say, at least in the CM terms, he is crystallizing people who want a change from these two parties, let's say, which is RJD and JDU, which have been ruling for the past 35 years. Does this translate into votes? It's very, very difficult to say. And I would say it would not translate into this much votes in terms of vote share, because the CM ratings is not the only criteria for a voter when he or she goes out to vote. Only around 15% people are voting in the name of the CM face. So this would translate into perhaps 3% vote share for Jan Suraaj only on the CM. What is interesting to see is that when you compare with 2020, the ratings of Nitish Kumar has almost halved. Tejashwi Yadav's ratings has also fallen, I think, marginally. But all of these gains are being pocketed by Prashant Kishor. So the decline in the popularity of Nitish is not being captured by Tejashwi Yadav. It's being captured by a third phase. Right. And even the past 5-6 months, whatever Prashant Kishor is gaining, 9%, is again largely at the expense of Tejashwi and Nitish Kumar.
Interesting. The question, of course, is whether this can translate into votes for a party.
Yes.
But Manisha Priyam, your quick comment, do you believe that Bihar is at all presidential in any form, where people are choosing kaun banega Mukhyamantri, or are they saying kaun banega mera MLA?
So I'll give a long comment. This was clearly a chemistry question. You took it to the math class. Let me tell you that since 1995, the Bihari has been feasting on the chehre ki rajniti. Lalu was Garibo ka Masiha and Samajik Nyay, etc. Then came Susashan Babu. And when Narendra Modi came, I remember the historic campaigns where everyone said, Asman mein namo, zameen pe sumo. That Sushil Modi no longer there, but Nitish continued as Susashan Babu. Bihar mein bahar hai, phir se Nitish Kumar hai. Now suddenly, this poll of yours tells us that the people are still voting when you put them the chief ministerial face. They have a frenzy about it. But we are saying the NDA today is somewhat leaderless, with Nitish almost in the sunset days of a fine political career. And that's what you see here. Both deputy chief ministers, Samrat Chaudhary clearly Prashant Kishor has been able to put in the mat, and Vijay Sinha, being a Bhumihar, cannot be the NDA's chief ministerial candidate. So faceless on one side, the Bihari looking for a chehre ki rajniti. I think that's the most poignant chemistry question, literature question before the Bihari voter. I'm sure you will take it to the mathematics.
Okay, let's take chehre ki rajniti, and I want to get each politician to respond now. I want to start with you, Guru Prakash Paswan, because as a national spokesperson of okay, we'll come to Guru Prakash in a moment. Let's go to Rajiv Ranjan. Rajiv Ranjan, these numbers, do they trouble you? कि Tejashwi's popularity is twice, उनकी तो 36% है, आपके नेता की 15% है. समझ लीजिए कि बाकी भी वोट्स ऐड हो जाए एनडीए के, वो भी थोड़े तेजस्वी के पीछे हैं. एक जमाने में नीतीश कुमार बिहार के नेता नंबर 1 थे. आज भी कहा जाता है कोई सरकार उनके बगैर नहीं बन सकती, लेकिन उनकी खुद की लोकप्रियता थोड़ी तो घटी है, ये तो आप मानोगे 20 साल बाद.
नहीं, उनकी लोकप्रियता में कोई कमी नहीं आई है. और आपके सर्वे, मैं यशवंत देशमुख और दोनों को मैं सुन रहा था, अमिताभ तिवारी जी को भी मैंने सुना, मनीषा प्रियम जी को भी सुना. बिहार एक बार फिर इनके विश्लेषण को खारिज करेगा, और इसकी वजह है, अभी एक सर्वे 2 दिन पहले एक नेशनल चैनल ने दिखाया, और उसमें पॉपुलैरिटी रेटिंग में नीतीश कुमार 42% थे. इसलिए ये सर्वेस को लेकर इंडिया टुडे का खुद का एक्सपीरियंस एक्सिस को लेकर के क्या है, उन्होंने 400 सीट्स पर जीतने की बात कही.
सर 42% हो सकता है अगर आप केवल नीतीश, देखिए अगर आप केवल नीतीश कुमार और तेजस्वी की बात करें. लेकिन
क्या
फिर भी
राजदीप
जी,
हम तो राजदीप जी, आप देश के सबसे बेहतरीन पत्रकारों में से एक हैं, लेकिन एक बात समझ लीजिए, बिहार को समझना बेहद जरूरी है. बिहार की जनता एंटी इनकम्बेंसी जैसे जो ये गढ़े हुए तर्क हैं, इसको नहीं मानती है. यहाँ प्रो इनकम्बेंसी की लहर है, और ये सच है कि आज भी बिहार की राजनीति में 1 से 10 पर नीतीश कुमार हैं. नीतीश कुमार अप्रासंगिक हो ही नहीं सकते हैं. फेसलेस अलायंस का सवाल नहीं उठता है.
अगर 1 से 10 पे नीतीश कुमार हैं तो एक रैली तो एड्रेस करनी बनती है फिर.
ओके, लेट मी आल्सो ब्रिंग इन कंचना यादव.
रैली कर रहे हैं.
देखिए,
वो लगातार जनता के साथ जिलों में संवाद कर रहे हैं, और मीडिया की टीम्स हर जगह होती हैं, उनके विजुअल्स हर जगह चल रहे हैं. वो लगातार धारा प्रवाह घंटों बात कर रहे हैं, लगातार बड़े फैसले ले रहे हैं. परियोजनाओं के शिलान्यास से लेकर लोकार्पण, और जो कुछ बिहार में विकास के काम हुए हैं उनका लगातार मुआयना कर रहे हैं. और जो बिहार का ये
सर, मैं आपको 1 मिनट रोक रहा हूं. सर, 1 मिनट, सर आप मुझे 1 मिनट रोक रहा हूं. मैं 1 मिनट रोक रहा हूं. नीतीश कुमार 9 बार मुख्यमंत्री रहे, 9 time chief minister. Yes. That's pretty impressive in any state of the country. But Kanchana Yadav, spokesperson RJD, your first reaction, because Prashant Kishor, I think the important takeaway is that those who are frustrated, angry with Nitish Kumar, gussa hai unse, they're not turning naturally to Tejashwi Yadav. A large number of them are turning to Prashant Kishor. He may well be cutting the anti-incumbency vote. He may not win seats, but he's cutting your vote.
Thank you, Rajdeep ji. I think when I will start questioning this opinion poll, and my opponent, of course, Jadyu, BJP, and the person who has conducted this opinion poll will immediately argue that we are rejecting this opinion poll because this is not in our favor. But the truth is, with my limited knowledge of sample survey or methodology, I have the right to ask this question, that was this survey proportionate? The 10% of Bihar's rural population and 90% of Bihar's 10% of Bihar's urban population and 90% of Bihar's rural population, and the demographics like the age group wise and caste wise and gender wise, etc. And if it is not, sorry, I don't believe in this survey. And
let me ask that to Yashwant Deshmukh. Yashwant Deshmukh, very important point made by Kanchana Yadav. One thing to do a survey with 2005, a catty poll over telephone, but as Kanchana is saying, in a state with a large rural population, has your survey actually measured does it approximate the demographics of Bihar in terms of gender, in terms of geography, yes or no? Otherwise, we are misleading the viewers.
The short answer is yes. Absolutely yes. We do it on a daily basis. It is not just 1,000 or 2,000. We do it 1,000 every day. So when we tell you a trend line, it is like 30,000 respondent in the last 30 days. You know, you are picking up.
Is it both rural and urban? Is it both rural and urban?
Rajdeep, it is more than 80% rural. More than 80% rural. It is
Okay,
absolutely
Kanchana.
representative. It's absolutely representative. That's all. I mean, she asked a legit methodological question. I appreciate that, and I am answering yes, it is representative.
Okay,
And
Kanchana, you want to respond now? Is
Of
it a
course, of
fact?
course.
Is it a fact that the younger voter in particular is attracted to Prashant Kishor at the moment because he's a new factor? I'm not saying it will translate into seats, but he may well be taking some of your votes.
No, that's not right. And so please show your all methodology, survey methodology on your screen, that how much population from rural and how much sample survey from the urban population. And thank you. But let's keep this survey aside. This 2025 state assembly election is a fight against the establishment. When I say against the establishment, Rajdeep ji, that means this 20 years of the NDA government in the Bihar and the 11 years of this double engine ki sarkar, they have controlled in every institutions, like whether it's ED, CBI, whether it's police, whether it's bureaucracy, whether it's Election Commission of India, and unfortunately media as well, because since the election has been announced, every big media houses releasing some opinion poll immediately, and so and shaping the narrative in the favor of Prashant Kishor and shaping the narrative in
Okay,
the favor of.
But
let me ask you this, Maria.
Kanchana,
Maria, let me ask you this. Okay.
At the ground, Rajdeep,
Okay,
that's not true.
Okay, you're accusing the media of shaping a narrative in favor of Prashant Kishor. You answer this, Maria, and Preeti, feel free to join in because you've also been traveling with Prashant Kishor.
No, I've not been traveling with
There is a
Prashant
belief that Prashant Kishor's narrative is, because there is a curiosity about him, because there is a newness about him, therefore the Delhi-based media or Noida-based media is obsessed with Prashant Kishor. What's the truth? Is the truth that Prashant Kishor is actually polling, you believe, as much as the opinion pollsters are showing, or it is just there is a bit of a buzz around him, therefore his numbers are high?
Rajdeep, there is buzz around him. There is also sincerity in the manner in which Prashant Kishor has approached Bihar politics. In the last 3 years, he has been on ground, has conducted a Pad Yatra. So he has got popularity. I'm not ruling that out. But I would like to tell Kanchana one thing. Kanchana, look at the number. Tejashwi is still the preferred choice for the Chief Minister's post. 36.2, twice as high as Nitish Kumar. So he's seen as the challenger even today. Prashant Kishor is still the dark horse.
No, but Maria, just with one point.
Yes.
But with one rider.
No, if you-
with one rider.
If you combine
with one
the
rider,
NDA.
last time the mahagathbandhan got about 37% of the vote.
That's right.
Tejashwi is roughly paralleling to what
exactly
the Mahagathbandhan gets.
Absolutely.
He needs to cross 40, 45 if this is a presidential style election. We don't know that.
But
I want to
Rajdeep, can
come
I
to
make
Guru
that-
Prakash Paswan
Yes.
for a moment. National spokesperson BJP, Guru Prakash Paswan, I don't recall the last state, certainly in North India, where none of the BJP's stalwarts or candidates who could be potential chief ministers even crossed 10%. Samrat Chaudhary is actually now down to 7.8%. Do you concede that this is a big challenge for BJP because this is the one North Indian state which has never thrown a BJP chief minister? You are leaderless. Aapka koi leader nahi hai. That's been a big challenge for you, especially a leader who can actually be called a mass leader.
No, Rajdeep ji, I think I would slightly disagree with what you were saying here. In fact, I was in a previous show in your Aaj Tak channel and I was looking at the sample survey. I have a lot of respect for Yashan Deshmukh ji, but the survey size and the sample size was hardly 2,500. In a state with a population of about 14 CR, a sample survey with 2,500, I think you have every right, and I'm not at all doubting the authenticity and the sincerity of the survey. But as far as your question is concerned, let me make this very clear. Bihar under Mr. Nitish Kumar, NDA has been in 1995. Nitish Kumar ji has been with the NDA since 1995. It was Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji who proposed the name of Nitish Kumar ji as the face of the NDA. As far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, we have absolutely no lack of leadership. We have absolutely no dearth of leadership. You can go and check with any district, any mandal.
Guru, who is the
Sushil
leader
Modi ji was there.
for BJP in
late
Bihar?
Sushil Modi ji. अरे भाई,
हाँ,
you know,
Sushil
no,
Modi ji, yes.
ji.
He served
Sushil
as
Modi ji
Nitish
was there.
Kumar's deputy for close to 15 years. So that's all right.
And no,
After Sushil Modi, there is a huge
Galaxy.
vacuum.
No. That is your point of view, Maria. Let me make this very clear. We have a
Yes.
galaxy of leadership in the form
Right.
of Union Minister of State for Home Affairs, Mr. Nityanand Rai. We have 2 Deputy Chief Ministers. We have Giriraj Singh. We have senior parliamentarians like Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Rajiv Pratap Rudy.
Right.
We are not at all leaderless.
Yeah, but none of them can match the popularity. None of them are anywhere close to the popularity of the other leaders, and therefore Prashant Kishor scoring so high is surprising. But yes, you wanted to make a point.
First point, I was not traveling with Prashant Kishor, Rajdeep. I
You
just went
interviewed
like a journalist, went there to do an interview, and I came right back. But with what you say, that who is Prashant Kishor? Other than now being a Bihar ka beta, as he's projecting himself to be, he's a master political strategist. Doesn't he not quote the media? Of course he quotes the media. Who's given the maximum number of interviews? It has been Prashant Kishor. Prashant Kishor knows how to set the narrative. He's done it for multiple political parties, and I think other than the JDU, every political party is here right now that he's done it for. But having said that, Rajdeep, Prashant Kishor, is he tracking with the youth? He's saying the right things. What is Prashant Kishor? He's touched the raw nerve of a true Bihari, something I'm sure even Maria will agree, where he speaks of kuposhan, he talks about malnutrition, he talks about migration, he talks about corruption. What does he... if you look at his manifesto, what does he say? When I come to power, I will do bhu sudhar. It's huge. Because 70% of Bihar doesn't own the kind of land that the other 30% owns. So he's talking about the issues which are touching a chord. Will he translate into votes? Let's hark back to that 11% he got during the by-polls. But Amitabh Tiwari will be perfect example to come in and tell you, in that 11% he took, 80% of the harm that he did was to the mahagathbandhan. In that 11%. Will his party track at the same level that Prashant Kishor is tracking? Yashwant will tell you, we've been tracking the Jan Suraaj for the last 10 months, Yashwant. And one thing is clear, Jan Suraaj always falls way short, way behind on the kind of the popularity tracker that we have for Prashant Kishor.
Let's turn therefore to the question, Maria, why don't you take this? That since we've talked about leadership, and clearly Tejashwi Yadav is the challenger #1, no doubt about it. But the question is, what do Biharis vote on? Do they vote on Chehra, or do they vote a Chehra of Mukhyamantri, or do they vote on local factors? Give us a sense of what the C voter survey is saying on that.
So the question that was asked was to the respondents, what one factor will primarily drive your voting decision? Image of local candidate, 23.6% of the NDA voters were of the opinion that 23.6% they will be focusing on the local candidates, and that is the reason why we are saying that if there is anti-incumbency, it could be against the local MLA.
So that's 19% of the total are saying local. If I look, let's not look at NDA opposite, but 19% total are saying that it is the local candidate.
Candidate. I think then the next big issue would be the specific issues, which is around 32.7%, the highest, and that's where Rajdeep, the DBT comes into focus. I think in this election in Bihar, we have to put the spotlight on women in Bihar who are benefiting and have already got 10,000 rupees each. 1 crore women have got that in their account. 1,000 rupees each to the unemployed youth. Up to 125 unit Bijli free in Bihar. A number of doles for Jivika Didi, and that's where the specific issue comes in. Party ideology expected 28.4%, national issues and others. Even on the performance of Chief Minister, it's 5.6%. That's where I would say that Chehre ki Rajniti, this election could be making that transition from Chehre ki Rajniti of Lalu Yadav to Chehre ki Rajniti of Nitish Kumar to now a party-driven politics of Bihar.
These specific issues, presumably, Yashwant, that you are referring to here, which 32.7% are supporting, include these direct cash benefits, the 10,000 rupees to Mahila, for example, under the Mukhyamantri Mahila Yojana. That are these the specific issues? Because you've got Tejashwi now promising 1 job per household. Are these the issues? Rozgar on one side, providing direct cash benefits on the other?
Yes, absolutely, Rajdeep, and it is MY of a different contour now altogether. It is Mahila and youth now, not on the Muslim and Yadav as we have known Bihar to vote for. So arguably, one side has taken the Mahila issue on the hand, and the other one is focusing on the Rozgar directly through the youth and that way. Having said that, in the data, Rajdeep, I must tell this to our audience. Probably after a long time, I'm witnessing a very, very important gender skew as far as the perceptions are concerned, as far as the intent and as far as the popularity of the candidate and issues are concerned. There is a distinct advantage as far as the female voters is concerned towards Nitish Kumar and NDA, and there is a distinct male voters advantage towards the mahagathbandhan. So this is going to be another one where we are going to see a big distinction on the gender lines. But having said that, Rajdeep, I must say this thing again. I know I have said this to you earlier during the conclave that Nitish Kumar's association with the female voters of Bihar is not a one scheme thingy. He is not Shinde. He is not Hemant Soren. He is not any other, not even Shivraj Singh Chauhan. The girls or the daughters of Bihar who were given bicycles 20 years back are now mothers and housemakers. So his association with female voters of Bihar is altogether a different level of emotional attachment than any other chief minister or any other leader you can think of across India.
And he is the same chief minister, Rajdeep, who announced in 2015 Sharab Bandi. So he has, in election after election, looked at the women constituency. 2006 is the year when that entire cycle scheme begins. 2006 is the year when the women of Bihar, in fact, Bihar becomes the first state to announce 50% reservation for women in panchayats. Then comes in 2010 another set of schemes, 2015 and then 2020. So it has been consistent here.
And given that,
the youth equation now, Rajdeep, what we had announced yesterday, very quickly, we need to look into tracker, and we will keep on tracking and bringing the data back to you, how much Tejashwi's announcement is going to impact the youth. By the way, youth traction in this election largely has gone so far in favor of Prashant Kishor. Can Tejashwi Yadav, like 5 years back, on the issue of Rojgar, bring back that youth to it? Because he definitely needs MY plus to win this elections.
Can I therefore turn to you, Amitabh Tiwari? Let's look at for a moment these two constituencies, Mahila and Yuva, the new MY of Bihar. Bihar is one of those states where women are outpolling men by a sizable number. Various reasons are attributed to that, including male workforce that goes to other states. Given that, and given Nitish's consistent, strong showing among women, that gives him an advantage. On the other hand, Yuva, as we saw in 2020 on the Rozgar issue, appeared to back Tejashwi. How does this MY factor play in 2025?
No, see, essentially, if you go by the data, the lead which the NDA enjoyed amongst women was just 2%. One could argue that that could have been the deciding factor or the differentiator between MGB and NDA. So this 1.21 crore 10,000 rupees seed capital, I would say, sort of, for starting their own business is relevant and important because it constitutes 35% of women voters. Plus, if we assume that there are 3 voters in each family, it constitutes almost half of the vote base of Bihar, which is 7.42 crore. And 10,000 rupees is a big amount in Bihar. 34% people earn less than 6,000 rupees per month, and another 31-32% earn anywhere between 6,000 to 10,000. So the context here is significant. The youth voter, which largely backed, again amongst youth also, though it is assumed that they largely backed Mahagathbandhan, again it was split between NDA and Mahagathbandhan with a minor lead to Mahagathbandhan. But amongst youth, the women favored NDA even in 2020, and the men had favored Mahagathbandhan. This time around, the highest level of anti-incumbency or discontent or anger or fatigue, whatever you call it, is shown amongst the youth. Now, youth comprises almost 25% of the vote base. Though population-wise is high, up to 35 years age, population is almost 60%, but the vote base is only 25%, which is 18 to 29. Even if you assume 18 to 35, it is only 35%. So 65% of the voters of Bihar are above 35 years of age. They are not youth. This time the youth vote is getting distributed between Tejashwi and Prashant Kishor, who is also making some dent And this data is very interesting, Rajdeep, just one line, this data is very interesting, is that the fortune of NDA now rests on the candidates because it is 24% candidates, whereas the fortune of the opposition lies less on candidates,
issues.
but more on issues. And here is where the 2 month of vote chori and SIR, should they have focused on issues?
I'll come on those.
I'll come to
vote. I'll come to vote chori in a moment and whether the campaign of Rahul Gandhi has worked. But let's raise the big question. We've reached halfway stage of this special show, so let's put that question: who has the edge in the Bihar election? And I'll get our political guests to respond because the numbers are interesting. NDA, as per the C voter poll, is at 40.2%. The mahagathbandhan is at 38.3%. The Jan Suraaj is at 13.3%. Remember, this is what we are looking at as of today. As of today, who has the edge in of the three, there is a small 2% edge which is being given in this poll by C voter. Given that this is probably within the margin of error, I want to get the possibility of a very tight race that we are probably heading for in Bihar. Guru Prakash Paswan, do you accept that this is a tighter race? Last time also the margin was just 12,000 votes between the two sides, or do you believe things have changed in 5 years? Our numbers are showing tight race.
No, Rajdeep ji, if you look at the numbers from last time, the difference was 0.03%, if I'm not mistaken. And this time it's showing almost 2%. So I think 0.03% to 2% is a substantial jump if we go by your figure. But as far as we are concerned, as Amitabh ji said, I would like to reiterate that the commitment and the dedication of our Matai and Behne for the leadership of Nitish Kumar has been immense, and we are grateful for it. The kind of initiatives that Bihar has taken when it comes to women empowerment has been the hallmark of women-led development, be it introducing reservation in the panchayats, the local self-government. Bihar today boasts of highest women participation in terms of the women police workforce, and so on and so forth. But as far as we are concerned, Nitish Kumar's twin pillar of Vikas and Nyay. Vikas, which is welfare and delivery, Nyay, which is taking every section of the society along. Jannayak Karpuri Thakur was attributed with the topmost civilian honor, which is the Bharat Ratna. And on the other hand, we have a Rahul Gandhi and a Tejashwi Yadav, where there is a constant tussle, a constant conflict of who is the real Jannayak. We have a face, we have a doula, we have a face, we have a doula in form of Nitish Kumar. But there is absolutely lack of...
You have a doula in form of Nitish Kumar. I'll take your word for it because there'll be an interesting question that will come next. But Kanchana Yadav, your first reactions. Clearly, your challenge is how do you make this 38 cross 40? You have an MY vote, in this case Muslim Yadav, that has been your core. You need new voters. Akhilesh Yadav showed what could be done in Uttar Pradesh and Lok Sabha by winning over new voters, new caste groups. Is the Mahagathbandhan ready for that? Naye voter kahan se aayenge beyond your MY combination?
We have the voters beyond our MY combination, Rajdeep ji. I am assuring you. And first, I think this survey has been conducted based on the recent, and by keeping in mind the recent announcement of the NDA government in Bihar, which is just taken before the election announcement. So I think this is not going to work because this election is against the establishment, as I said before. So I think what we have is the credibility in the youth.
The advice that the party is giving to the RJD, because there are also familial relations between the two, is if it was PD in 2024 Lok Sabha, then from MY you should convert it to My Baap, which is Bahujan, Adivasi and Pichhada, and you already have the MY combination.
Priti ji, we have the voters from across the caste and community. We are not just MY, but BAP also we are A to Z party. So labeling us like MY combination only, I think it's not
advice hai. Samajwadi Party se aayi aapke liye.
In this election, we have the bigger, voters. We have the voters in Ati Pichhada, we have voters in Dalit, Adivasi, we have voters in Alpasankyak as well. So labeling us like entire India Gathbandhan, entire India Alliance in Bihar as a MY Samikar is not going to work. We have, yes.
Can I bring in for a moment Manisha Priyam? Do you agree, Manisha, looking at these numbers, the big challenge for Tejashwi Yadav is to try and do an Akhilesh Yadav. If I can draw a parallel, widen his alliance. There's already talk that he's going to give a lot of tickets, for example, to the Kushwaha community. Just as Akhilesh Yadav gave a fair number of seats to the Kurmi community in Uttar Pradesh. That you need one more solid caste base if you are to actually cross that 40% magic mark.
So I think you are right. There's already been a shift. UP and Bihar are a little different. Remember also that the RJD is supported by the CPI-ML, of which we have discussed almost nothing. In the last Lok Sabha elections, although the RJD did not do well in its traditional strongholds, in the areas where there was an RJD-CPI-ML combination and a Kushwaha caste to top it all, they had magical results. And the example was the Aurangabad seat known as the Chittorgarh of Bihar, where a Kushwaha RJD candidate won. There's much local politicking happening around, but the BJP and the NDA's Kushwaha card slightly weaker with Samrat Chaudhary on the back foot and Upender Kushwaha not churning electoral victories. But the fact is that the EBC, the Ati Pichhada Pachphorna caste, that Nitish Kumar had stitched up through his welfare and developmentalism, that vote bank needs to be seen whether it still continues to be with Nitish Kumar in his name, even in his sunset of political leadership and his political career, or is the RJD able to make any dent there? And here I think the Vikassheel Insan Party makes
VIP,
for
yes. The VIP
some
becomes
chances,
important, yes.
but I still don't see
EBCs.
the RJD having, I still haven't seen the RJD having deep enough, down enough to get the Dalit vote bank, the Mahadalit vote bank. How they do it is a challenge.
That's
and if Tejashwi is
that's
so
where
popular,
the Congress comes in,
Go ahead,
Rajdeep.
Maria.
data
Let me bring in Maria, yes.
That's where the Congress comes in, because there is this sense, particularly after the Vote Adhikar Yatra of Rahul Gandhi, that there could be a shift of the Dalits in particular. Yes, Mahadalits could be going, particularly the Paswans could be with the NDA, but the Mahadalits could be coming this side. The Dalits could be coming this side, and also among the EBCs, because there are in all 130 smaller parties which are driven by their occupation, like the the boatmen and the barbers and all. So in that, the VIP party becomes important. If
They are a
Mukesh
party
Sahni,
that essentially
driven by the occupation,
the boatmen, the Malla community
The
in particular,
Mallas.
are the ones who go with the VIP. There are a lot of viewers
Yes.
who every time we discuss Bihar ask, yaar, aap bahut caste pe focus karte ho. The fact is, this is Bihar. And among all the states that have been seriously mandalized over the last 20, 25 years or 30 years, Bihar is still strongly mandalized. At least that's what most polls have shown, even in the results over the last 30 years. When Lalu Prasad Yadav won that big majority in 1995, the first election I covered in Bihar, I found that Lalu's base was largely driven by a broad caste coalition that included a coalition of the poor. That over the years has fractured in different ways. Lalu Prasad is not campaigning this time, but Nitish Kumar is still the chehra or the dulha, as Guru Prakash Paswan called it. But the big question, Preeti, is does the dulha remain on the ghoda even if they win the elections? Your question there. What does the survey say?
We're going to get on to that survey, but Rajdeep, you spoke about caste, and interesting because the clip that's going viral right now is a woman was asked, Vikas ke liye vote karoge? And she says, Vikas kaun jaat? So we're going to leave it at that. And the big question, viewers, this is the big question that was asked to our respondents, which Rajdeep touched on. I don't know how well Rajiv Ranjanji and Guru Prakash Paswan are going to react to it. The question that was asked was, if NDA forms the government tomorrow, will Nitish Kumar continue as CM? Right now, the NDA is fighting this election under the leadership of Nitish Kumar. Will he continue as Chief Minister, though, is a question mark. The respondents tapping into that apprehension, Rajdeep, where 47.8% say yes, which is about 8%, but 40% say no. Despite this election being fought under the banner of Nitish Kumar, he will not continue as Chief Minister.
Let me ask that straight to Rajiv Ranjan. Rajiv Ranjan ji, आप नीतीश जी को बड़े अच्छी तरह से जानते हैं, सालों से जानते हैं. आप हमें बताइए, जो भी चुनाव में हो, अगर एनडीए की सरकार हो, will Nitish Kumar be the chief minister? Rajiv Ranjan? Okay, Rajiv Ranjan ji has left us at the moment. Unfortunate. Okay, let's put that question to you, Maria. You've known Nitish Kumar for years. Is it very clear that he will remain the chief minister? Just to recall, 2010, huge victory for Nitish Kumar. He was Sushasan Babu. That was his big victory. 2/3 majority. 2015, big victory. Nitish Kumar again becomes chief minister. Bihar की मजबूरी है, Nitish Kumar ज़रूरी है. Is that even clear in 2025 as well?
Yes, in 2025, Nitish Kumar may be a pale shadow of his, the aggressive Nitish Kumar that we have seen, who gave a sense of pride to all Biharis. Rajdeep, that sense of asmita, the subnational identity that we keep talking about, Nitish Kumar did emphasize on. And as a Bihari, I felt I took that pride in the fact that I come from Bihar. But I think right now Nitish Kumar understands that, and the NDA understands that Nitish Kumar is that chehra who's a necessity for this alliance.
Who needs more? Does Nitish Kumar need BJP more or BJP needs Nitish more?
BJP needs Nitish Kumar right now if they have to win this election.
Why?
Because Nitish Kumar brings that very important constituency along with him, which are the substantive, the Ati Pichhadas and the
26%, remember, 26%. Are EBCs in Bihar. Yashwant Deshmukh, when you look at these numbers, how are we to read it? As Preeti showed, if NDA forms the government, Nitish Kumar becomes chief minister, or do you believe that as Maria is saying, the BJP needs Nitish Kumar more? Do you agree with that as per your numbers? Is he still the face of the NDA? Still the face? Chehra abhi bhi Nitish Kumar hai.
चेहरा नीतीश कुमार ही है राजदीप, एंड बीजेपी डेफिनेटली नीड्स नीतीश कुमार. बीजेपी कैन नॉट विन दिस इलेक्शन विदाउट नीतीश कुमार. एंड नॉट ओनली दैट, लेट मी से दिस अपफ्रंट, even if NDA wins, BJP will have to continue Nitish. At the point of time Nitish Kumar himself says that I am gonna retire. जब तक नीतीश खुद नहीं चाहेंगे, रिटायर नहीं होंगे. That's the bottom line. I mean, if anybody has any delusions whatsoever,
absolutely,
they should get clear.
Manisha Priyam, do you believe that Nitish Kumar Bihar की मजबूरी है, जरूरी है? Here is a leader, kamzori hai, 9 times chief minister. He has switched sides, done all kinds. He should get a gold medal for political gymnastics, but he still remains. No formation, barring that short period where Jitin Ram Majhi was chief minister, has been able to survive without Nitish Kumar's face. Is he because of the EBC vote, or is it because of the Mahila vote, or because Bihar's politics is so fractured, you need someone who can bring it together? And Nitish does that to some extent.
So I think the majburi, kamjori, all of what you diagnosed, all of it applies to the BJP. Clearly the JDU is running itself without his astute leadership. I'm time and again saying that they are a very strong political party to be able to run without the important leader who founded them, etc. And we are not even discussing the fact that on the eve of this politics, the fast-track courts that Nitish Kumar set up to punish the likes of Anand Mohan, who were charged then of killing Krishnaiya, just on the eve of these elections, that same government signed or facilitated the release of people like Anand Mohan. So let us say whose majburi it is, not the RJDs, not the mahagathbandhans, certainly not the Biharis. Remember, we love our history, we respect our political leaders, but we know how to usher in political change. Yes, of course, the electorate, the
BJP's majburi. Okay, I've got one more.
1 second. I am the woman voter. I am the woman voter personified. We respect our leaders, but we know how to differentiate respect from right.
Okay.
Don't tell us
that's a subtle undertone to Manisha Priyam's final line.
There is one last question I want to pose, because we've discussed a lot about the NDA. What about the Mahagathbandhan? Remember, this is a Gathbandhan that has the CPI-ML. That's also an important X factor because it brings its vote bank in parts of Bihar. As we saw even in 2020, it had a very high strike rate, the CPI-ML, in certain parts of Bihar. Buxar, Ara, those areas will have a strong Malay presence. The question we asked is this: has the vote Adhikar Yatra of Rahul Gandhi helped the Mahagathbandhan or not? 51% said yes, 32.8% said no. So, in a way, Amitabh Tiwari, we don't know where Rahul Gandhi now is, but for those couple of weeks in Bihar, he was clearly drawing crowds. Is the Congress this time still the Kamzor Kadi, or do you believe the Congress will bring an additional vote because Rahul Gandhi has raised issues like caste census, Dalit empowerment? Does the Congress bring more votes to the kitty, or is it the losing side? Won just 19 of the 70 seats last time.
No, see, Congress helps Mahagathbandhan or RJD to expand its vote base beyond the MY. So it still gets a slice of the upper caste vote and a portion of the Dalit and the EBC vote. It can bring to the table. The question is that it adds value. However, it has to contest on lower number of seats this time. If it in this ego that voter Adhikar Yatra has helped RJD and as a national party we should get a fair share. If it again
Amitabh Tiwari, that's the sense within the Congress right now, it seems, where they're okay, or at least they will settle for less number of seats, but they want better selection of seats than they got the last time around.
More winnable seats.
More winnable seats is what they're looking for. But Rajdeep, it's interesting because if you actually look at it in the context of how the Congress is building the narrative of Dalit empowerment over the last 2 or 3 weeks, where they're going into now is going to be the final slog overs of this election.
They've got a state Dalit president as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was getting into. They're building it block by block. The Vote Adhikar Yatra for the Congress had only one clear agenda, which was to focus, of course, on the youth was a byproduct of it, but to focus on the Dalit vote. Remember how many times, if you go back, remember how many times Rahul Gandhi actually brought up Dalit, Samvidhan Khatre Mein Hai, where he talked about Adhikar. He was addressing directly the Dalit and the Mahadalit constituency of Bihar.
It didn't quite work though in the Lok Sabha elections as it worked in neighboring Bihar, which is why I say Bihar is very distinct from other states. But Maria, Dalit population about 16% by
19.8.
There are different, the
Yes,
official is 16% as per the figures that are available. Some would say that these are higher, 19.8, but 16% is what is the number I had. Let's assume it's 19.8 as well. The truth of the matter is that going to be a key vote? We are told that the Mahagathbandhan, even if it projects Tejashwi Yadav, wants an EBC chief minister, probably Mukesh Saini himself, possibly. It wants a deputy CM, sorry. They want a Dalit chief minister of the Congress and a Muslim face of the RJD.
Yes.
Therefore, is the Dalit vote, is Rahul Gandhi, as Preeti suggests, courting the Dalit vote? Do you get a sense that that is one of the key X factors of this election?
Absolutely. I won't rule a possibility of that, Rajdeep, and there is that visible shift which is happening among the Dalits in particular. And Rahul Gandhi's Vote Adhikar Yatra has managed to mobilize and generate a lot of awareness in this community, because they realize that perhaps with an MY they are more safe in comparison to other side. I would say that if Mukesh Sahni's party, the VIP, brings in the EBCs, particularly the Mallas, an important section of the EBC, and an additional even if it is not the complete 16%, some portion of that, then Tejashwi Yadav would be very close to the 40%.
Mukesh Sahni, interesting character.
Absolutely.
Built his life in Mumbai. And made a fair bit of money.
Yes, and it knows how to switch sides.
Most Biharis seem to know how to switch sides. If you had a contest for political gymnastics, the Biharis would do rather well. So would many people, including in my home state now, Maharashtra, in Preeti's home state of Haryana. They've all perfected the art of that. But as we come to the end, I'm going to put everyone on the line. This is the start of the race. Much can change in the last 5 weeks, as we've seen in other elections. Yashwant, you're the one who has to put your neck on the line. You played very safe in this poll. You seem to suggest Kaate ki takkar. Is it really a Kaate ki takkar?
No,
or has the direct cash benefits or Tejashwi's promise of Rozgar, is that going to be the game changer?
Rajdeep, there is nothing to be safe or unsafe for me. You know, if we get it right, nobody praises. We get it wrong, you will going to blame us. So there is nothing
That's
to
the
be
way it
playing
is.
safe about it. You know. But on a serious note, you know, during the Bharat Jodo Yatra, we ran for India Today, and we had seen how successful and how much impact it had in the Congress fortunes in many places. This survey also continuously is telling that, you know, as long as Rahul Gandhi was taking the yatra, it was useful to him. We will keep on tracking about the new MY combination and let you know in a week or two how the Rojgar thing and Mahila vote is being played out. But I do have a question and a doubt, Rajdeep. You know, a month down the lane, we may be asking ourselves probably if Colombia was more important than Katihar. Question is not how much Rahul Gandhi is working on the ground. Question is he here when it mattered the most? Is
That's
he
right.
there
The
continuously
question
on the
is
ground?
whether the Congress has the organization to actually also try and make sure that even if there are any benefits from that vote Adhikar Yatra, can they capitalize on it? As we are seeing, there are images of Prime Minister Modi, and one of the factors we've not mentioned is the Modi factor. I do believe in Bihar there are two factors that will work in advantage of the NDA, which is Modi and, dare I say, Paisa, and plus the Nitish Kumar factor, if you want to add, in terms of the fact that he is a long durable Chief Minister who has a strong Mahila vote. You want to put your neck on the line and tell us who's going to win, Preeti?
No, I haven't been on the field yet. Once
Okay.
I'm on the field, I'll
so
put my neck on the line.
she's staying safe. Maria, you've been on the field. You're from Bihar. Tell us who's winning.
Nitish has a visible edge right now.
Nitish has a visible edge right now. Okay, we leave it at that. Clearly, our poll also seems to suggest a small edge, but you've got, as I said, that Mahila factor on one side. What about the Yuva factor? And don't forget Prashant Kishor as a potential X factor. Lots that you can chew upon. Of course, all the details on our website, and we'll have many more such tracker polls in the days ahead. There is no state like Bihar when it comes to electoral politics where everyone has an opinion, and long may that continue. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind. Namaskar. Jai Bihar.